pre-week. And this is, or should be, a pretty good one. But one of the bigger questions that we are going to ask ourselves is who is first in the live chat? Who has the podium right now? I see Mary Beanie is on the top step. Sylvia Wade Kelly is on the second step, and Lord Chaos brings us in with the third place finishing for those in the live. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. Woo! So, is Charles Leclerc the chosen one? That's been a question. A lot of people have been saying he is the chosen one for Ferrari. That may be that may very well be. But the thing is the pressure of being the chosen one for Ferrari too much for Charles? What's up, Miss Dino? That's a question. Not only for Charles, is the supposed Lando era fake king experiencing too much pressure by being the so-called number one driver to lead McLaren? Which one of these drivers, Charles or Lando, will get their first title, driving championship title? There's a lot of things that we should be looking at to even perhaps come up with a defined opinion on how we feel about this, right? But more so than us, has Ferrari or McLaren decided to rethink whom they had initially decided would be their number one drivers? What's up, Dreads, in the live chat? And I'm going to say we're in a weekend where Lando finally discovered that Max Verstappen is not the friend he thought he had. Max Verstappen is not the guy he thought he would be just for Lando. Maybe Lando thought he was outside the scope of Mad Max and his carnage that he lays down on track. But Lando found out very well here in Austria last year that is not the case, Lando. Max will run you over, stab you in your back, trample over your chest if that means he needs to get that corner. We're not even talking about a race win. We're talking about a turn. I mean, all drivers are going for the race win, but if he's trying to get that turn, he's gonna trample you over. And Lando, we've seen you lay down like a dog in the hot sun, belly up like nobody's business. Charles is kind of different, right? I'm not sure. We've seen Charles yield to Max just undespicably, it was crazy. He almost went to the parking lot in Coda. Max almost ran him completely into the parking lot in Coda. I haven't necessarily seen Charles stand up to Max Verstappen in such a way, but we have seen other drivers do it. And so now, not only is Charles being questioned by many of you, he's being questioned by me. Many of you feel Ferrari may have let the wrong guy go. Many of you feel like Carlos should have been the one to stay. Many of you debate a good case on why Charles is the one to stay. You know, you talk about his one lap pace. You talk about him leading in points. There are a lot of things that you don't talk about when it comes to Charles that other people do talk about when it comes to Charles Leclerc, like his decisive decision making, his ability to stand on business, as we call it here lately. Well, it's been really called that for the longest. Just recently, people started trying to use the shit again. His initiative in the team, and how much of the greatness from Lewis Hamilton will he be able to soak up before Lewis calls it quits when he's ready? Rambro88 in the live chat. Too many people trying to push Lewis out of here, and he already told y'all, pipe down, shut up, stop making up lies. Lewis is not going anywhere until it's time and until he wants to. And I understand championships are the standard. I understand that if you're not racing for championships, what are you racing for? But I also understand there can only be one champion. And just because you're not the champion doesn't mean your entire season was a failure. And if that's the case, then as long as Lewis can be a top performing driver, and eventually he can show that if he's given top machinery, he can win championships again or be in the close battle to win a championship, leave that man alone. Because right now, you need to be worried about Charles and Ferrari. Because when Lewis is gone, Charles is supposed to be there. Charles is the heir to the Ferrari throne. And I'm not sure if Charles is going to win a driver's championship no more than I'm sure about Lando winning his driver's championship. I'm more confident that Oscar Piastri will be a driver champion before Lando is. And I'm not saying that can't change. I'm not saying Lando can't do something to reinvent himself or improve himself in areas where we definitely think he has shortcomings. But I am saying right now, as it sits, if I had to sit down and I am at this table and somebody approached me and says, you got $100, is it Lando? Or is it Oscar? I'm going Oscar on my 100. I already got $100 out there on Colapinto getting more than higher than 13. Hopefully he can get that soon. But Colapinto's not in the same frying pan that I think Charles and Lando are. And Carlos has already shown what an attribute he can be to a lower team like Williams. I just have to wonder what, in combination with Lewis Hamilton, could the knowledge, experience, and initiative be at Ferrari if it was Sainz and Hamilton? Hamilton and Sainz. We literally saw Carlos come out of a car, go onto the pit wall, assist, if not assist, be the main person, the main reason, the main catalyst for why that race prep or that race plan went well for Albon. Carlos does many things in the car as well as outside of the car that I have not necessarily seen Charles do. I have yet to see Charles, or maybe it's just not been noted to that degree because he's in a top team and Carlos went to Williams, and so everything's kind of being embellished, maybe. But I can't recall Charles coming out of the car, going on pit wall and making a decisive decision based on the elements or the circumstances of a race and it yielding a positive result. I just don't recall that. Ferrari gave that up. Ferrari let that go. Hey, Kenny Bugs, what's going on? I see you in there. Ferrari let that go. Did they make the wrong decision? Or is this one of the classic twos, like eventually right? Right now, he might not look like that guy, but eventually Charles will become that guy. And then, is he going to become that guy with Fred Vasseur? Is Fred Vasseur going to be there with Charles if Charles ever blossoms into this leading driver that they have so-called believed in, invested in, stood behind, backed, encouraged, motivated, protected? I don't know, honestly. I can't fully say with confidence that, yeah, he's going to become that guy. I can't. I definitely can't say about Lando. I don't think he's going to become that guy. I'm not trying to down anything where he might possibly become that guy, but I just don't see it happening right now. I don't believe in it. I think he's shown us plenty of times that it's not the case. He's still very close in the Drivers' Championship standings. He's still close with Oscar. He's not terribly off. It's possible. And it's still possible that maybe something happens. You never know Oscar's performance at some point in time due to maybe circuits or whatever the case may be, personal issues, which I don't really see that happening with Oscar because he's cold as shit. But maybe there is something that might happen with Oscar that we don't foresee and that he might not even foresee. And then next thing we know, Lando gets the edge and he starts leading. Mary Beanie in the super chat says, I've said this, Ferrari made a mistake with letting Sainz go. He is the thinker on track. Leclerc makes rookie mistakes too often and constant moaning. Those are indeed facts. Those are indeed facts that Mary Beanie just dropped in the live chat. And that's true. And we've all heard it. We've also heard, for somebody of Charles's stature in Ferrari, what we just had happen this past race weekend in Canada, where he was told a certain plan. He did not like the plan because he quickly came back with what he thought should happen. And for them to box him and ignore his input and put him on the other plan anyway, you would think that Charles Leclerc would have more cachet than that. You would think that Ferrari would respect his opinion or his input more than that. Not his opinion, his input based on what he's experiencing in the car, what he's experiencing in the race, what he's seeing go on around him. That plan's not going to work. Let's go with this plan. That's not what happened. What is Ferrari if they can't even listen to their supposed number one heir to the throne in Ferrari? What are they really telling us then? You can change, but not really? You're really the leader, but not much? Because that's what that told me. Because I thought when it went silent and Charles spoke, that pretty much that's what it was going to be. Appreciate all the love in the live chat. I appreciate you all much on this Monday. And then when it comes to Lando, is McLaren still going to continuously make a mistake and not getting behind Oscar now? I'm not even saying sooner than later. Sooner than later already happened. I mean now. This weekend, should a situation arise where there has to be a decision made to prioritize Lando or Oscar, we should see McLaren, if they've managed to work their BS out, if they've managed to understand where they went wrong last season, if they managed to understand that, listen, Oscar right now is proven to be the better driver. You should be the better driver, Lando, but you're not. We should see Oscar get priority. At this point in time, with Lando having and making his huge mistake in Canada, almost derailing the race of all of McLaren, him and Oscar, now's the time to protect your leader. And your leader is Oscar Piastri. And Lando doing what he did allowed Max Verstappen to get back into the fold, stay in the fold, get closer to the fold, whatever the case is. Lando's contribution this past weekend in Canada, or last week in Canada, did not help. It didn't help. Weekend before last, this past weekend, we didn't have a race. It didn't help at all. So McLaren need to pony up. McLaren need to go ahead and get right. McLaren need to make these decisions and make them quickly. If we find and see it play out over the course of time that McLaren fumble it up with prioritizing these drivers again, and they allow Max Verstappen to get a driver's championship again with that, because last season, if they were smart as they are, as smart as they should be, as smart as they claim to be, they should have prioritized Lando and protected that lead. They should have made a lot of decisions that they didn't make. Mary Beanie in the Super Chat. Appreciate all the love in the Super Chat. Lando will never be a champion of F1, but Pia will. Damn, how many of you all feel that way? We might have to put that in. Big shout out to Mary Beanie. Matter of fact, Mary Beanie, let's take a look at something real quick. We might have to look at that, Mary Beanie. We might have to take a look at that real quick. We might have to poll that. That might be worth polling. Honestly, that really might be worth polling. I think we should. I think we should poll that. But before we poll that, let's show you all something real quick, because I think it is important to show this, because you earned it. You earned it. When you come into the chat, I do a podium for who enters the live chat. And right now we're going to do the top three family members or top 3 viewers right now in the live chat. And right now, as it sits, Mary Beanie is in the lead. Right now, Mary Beanie is first. K5 Willard White Iverson is second, and Dreads is third. Right there. 75 points for both White Iverson and Dreads, and Mary Beanie with a staggering 25 more points, putting her in the lead for the top of that chart. So big shout out to Mary Beanie for that. You got that in the bag. Appreciate you much. So then as we go into, let's talk about this weekend coming up. Ferrari will have to make a critical decision as far as their updates and if they're actually going to work. McLaren's going to have to make a critical decision about which driver they're going to prioritize first. So let me know what you think below in the comment section. Let me know which one of these drivers you think should be prioritized. Do you believe that Oscar should get priority right now? Do you think that Ferrari eventually will get this car on board? Do you think that Lewis Hamilton and Charles will start reeling off wins? I don't know if they're going to get in the Drivers' Championship fold, but maybe Ferrari Constructors' Championship fold is their second right now. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. I really appreciate you all. We are going to go live again. 083 in the Super Chat right now. Baraka's in the Super Chat right now. For a veteran, CL makes 2. Charles Leclerc makes too many bozo mistakes. Piastri is laying the smackdown on Lando. In terms of everyone in the age group, Max Verstappen and George Russell are clear. 083 says, I'm sorry. In my view, if Ferrari ignored me like that, I'm left with 2 choices. I can park the car and walk away, or I can contact my agent and look for a different team. I'm with that. I'm with that for sure. Hell yeah, I'm definitely with that. And we'll see what happens this weekend, y'all. Big shout out to that. Big shout out to you all coming up. Live chat, we will be live again, if not today, tomorrow, as we're leading into Austria, because I think this is going to be another one of those dynamic events, another one of those dynamic races. It is an authentic race weekend, 3 free practices, then quali, then the race. So I will see you then. I will see you there in the live chat. Leave your comments. Peace and love. We're out.